Nice to be here in your country of Amsterdam's. Yes, I like it very much. It is a beautiful city.
To this direction on Java Island, there's a footpath and a bike path and a sort of park space that goes in between the housing units. What I want to do is we'll start by crossing the road. We'll walk over there just to get a glimpse of that. And we'll try to see if we can pop through out to the edge to the street and then walk back along the river and cut into this, this avenue. And then we're going to walk over to this very large housing block called Piraeus that surrounds one of the original ANSM buildings from when this was an example to get you into this not automotive but bicycle and pedestrian zone that runs now all the length of Java Island. And some of the, what's nice here, and I didn't realize this canal was so picturesque. So Clifford, thank you. This is one of Clifford's favorite places to go for a walk, and he was telling me. You get a nice sense of the topography here, of the height of the island, you know, from a sort of high edge there where it has bridged over this little canal and then down very low and close to the water in the middle. You also get a nice sense of the variety of architecture, so that while this might have been planned monolithically and executed, you know, kind of all of a piece pretty much, they in many cases made efforts, especially in these units that are more like single family kind of row house type dwellings, to individuate them with you know, different kinds of materials and whatnot. And in some cases, and I'm not sure if it's the case here, but I know on Borneo and Spornberg Islands, they actually set up a scheme where in certain areas, individual homeowners could purchase the land and hire their own architect to 4 stories. Well, as soon as you come over here, this is the other side of that. It's really a much, you know, denser, taller sort of wall of building along the edge of the island. And that was a very conscious part of the planning decision to achieve the density. What I think is striking from an architectural point of view is the way that when you're moving through that central space, you don't feel like you're moving through some, you know, canyon of tall buildings, right? And so I think they've achieved some great results that way. A couple of pictures. This is an area further east of here that we're not going to go to, where they're building a new neighborhood for approximately another 40,000 residents with very, very dense blocks. And you can see on that island, you can see at the top of this photo, they're actually still dredging and creating new land, right? So instead of it being a former industrial area, that's actually a new man-made island, right? But with even practices change rather quickly in Dutch practice, so that they will say, you know, make a master plan. Joe Conan, the architect who laid out this master plan, is world famous. And part of the idea for this part of KNSM Island was superblocks. So they would build a series of superblocks. There's the Piraeus block. There's one with a circular kind of courtyard, and then a truly circular superblock down at the end. And that idea was in further developments that happened, you know, 10 years after this. This was from the mid-1980s. They actually pulled back from the idea of having quite as many superblocks as a way to achieve density, to more of the sort of mid-range or even low-rise but dense townhouses that we've seen and will see more of, right? These aren't, it's not that these are bad, I think. Behind us here, right? Also notice if you look down, this kind of paving is called, I think it's Stelcon. It's steel and concrete, and it's movable and adjustable, and it's found often in shipyards and dock infrastructure. So they've preserved some of this original, you know, paving material, but they also, I think, have preserved some of the sense of ruggedness of it, you know, with these steel windows and the brick, right, in the housing units themselves. I don't want to talk really loudly here because, you know, people's private houses, right? Second, from here we have a good opportunity to look back at KNSM Island and to see the Piraeus superblock that we just walked through, as well as a couple of other superblocks that look more dated. They look like designed from the 1980s in kind of the bad sense of that in my mind. Kind of what we would call POMO, sort of postmodern, you know. But all the planning principles out there were quite interesting. But as I said, the idea of having many super blocks was already questioned when the development for this island, Borneo's Hornberg, sort of pair of piers, was undertaken in the early 1990s and was built in the mid-1990s. The building behind us here, behind that tram, Whale, is really the only super block on this island. And everything else beyond that is much lower in scale, and a lot like what you see here to the right, townhouse, scaled developments that continue out in that direction. If you're interested in this sort of thing, you have to imagine yourself for a minute. I want you to use your imaginations, right? You could actually, but you don't need to. You can sort of gaze at this building actually, which is the Lloyd Hotel, built, I don't know exactly when, probably around 1900, I think, right? It was built for the Lloyd shipping line, who specialized in transporting Eastern European immigrants who were emigrating to Central and South America for work, Brazil, Argentina, right? And so they would come here, they would stay, on their way, they'd stay for a night or two, perhaps. So, but then imagine this now is abandoned in sometime in like the 1950s, 1960s. Sits empty for 10 or 15 years. Around it, there were low warehouses falling into disrepair. A lot of the area paved with that Stelcon, the blocks that we were standing on over in the field. Yeah, they're up a little for a minute here. I just wanted to stop here because you can see this amazing confluence of, former shipping, the Lloyd Hotel, different kinds of housing to the left of that, these object kind of block buildings on this very highly designed sort of table and landscape with, a wonderful variety of uses. A little kids soccer pitch, inside a cage. I don't know why. So the ball doesn't fly down here, right?
Who plays soccer at Colin?
The automobile level, which then drops down into a tunnel there that goes across out toward the ring road and Iberg and the beach that Clifford just talked about. The tram line that drops under here, that's the low tram line that we're going to go down and get on to the Central Station, a high tram line. The rail line, just beyond that is water. You really get this very... The thing comes down, people jet off, right? Scooters, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then people want to get on it, jet on, and literally look at the countdown, right? 54 seconds. When that thing is done, like that gate is going to pop up and that boat's going to leave. So here's our ferry on the left coming in, the NDSM ferry. Similarly, watch the great spectacle and be ready. We'll bolt on. You basically. Welcome to the north. We're going to go, our itinerary is to walk around over to a big warehouse over that way. We can peek at a warehouse here that's been converted by MTV to be their European headquarters. This is a disused shipbuilding yard. This whole area has been designated for redevelopment. I'm not sure at what stage the plans are, but I know that the mechanism that's undergoing right now is that they're trying to attract certain creative businesses like MTV and other ones to kind of maybe begin to settle here already. But they're also attracting artists and folks to temporarily inhabit things like the warehouse that will probably be torn down and replaced with housing and other